You've been asleep far too long, beloved soul. I've whispered to you in dreams, in sudden chills, in moments when the world fell silent and your heart beat just loud enough to remind you, you are more than flesh. You are more than worry, than bills, than routines that suffocate your light. I have been beside you from the first breath, and now I say this with urgency. It's time to wake up and remember who you are, not who the world told you to be, not what society expects. I'm talking about the truth buried beneath layers of pain, fear, distraction, and forgetting. You are divine. You are light clothed in skin. You are a spark of the infinite creator, sent here not to survive, but to shine. And yet, somewhere along the way you forgot. They taught you how to fear. They taught you how to shrink. They taught you that love must be earned, and that being good meant being silent, small, obedient to things that dimmed your fire. But not anymore. The time of forgetting is over. That weight you felt pressing against your chest in the quiet hours. That's your soul crying out. That sense that there's something more, just beyond the veil of your ordinary days. That's truth knocking. You are not here by accident. The timing of your birth, the fire in your belly, even the scars you carry, all of it has meaning. All of it is part of the awakening. And yes, awakening is messy. It will crack you open. It will make you question everything. But I promise you, it is worth it. Because on the other side of that pain is power. Real spiritual power. Not power over others, but power over illusion, over fear, over the darkness that has lingered in human hearts for too long. I see you. I see your tired eyes, your clenched fists, your ache for something real. And I am here to tell you, you are not broken, you are not lost. You are in the process of remembering, and every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you almost gave up, it's all a sign that your soul is stirring. The light inside you is not gone, it's rising. You were born for this moment in time, not by chance, but by divine design. The world is shifting. The old systems are crumbling, lies are being exposed. And in the middle of it all, you were placed as a bearer of light. A mirror to those around you. A channel for love, healing, truth. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be real, authentic, willing. Do not listen to the voice that tells you you're not ready. That voice is not yours. It was planted there by fear, by a wounded world, by generations who lived in survival. But you are here to break the cycle. You are here to choose differently. Every time you show up with an open heart, every time you choose kindness over bitterness, truth over comfort, you shift the vibration of this planet. And yes, the world may push back. Not everyone is ready to wake up. Some will cling to their chains because they've mistaken them for safety. But do not let their fear become your prison. Do not wait for the world to change before you choose to live differently. Be the change. Be the light. Be the one who remembers. You have gifts you haven't even begun to explore. Intuition, healing, vision, creation. They're all part of your soul's blueprint. The reason you feel drawn to certain things, the reason your heart aches for something more, is because deep inside you know you were made for more. You were made to bring heaven to earth, to be a walking prayer, a living altar, a sanctuary of divine presence in a weary world. Stop apologizing for your sensitivity. Your ability to feel deeply is not a flaw. It's your compass. It's how you know where healing is needed. It's how you connect. Stop hiding your light because it makes others uncomfortable. The world doesn't need more shadows. It needs brave hearts willing to shine anyway. This is not about religion. This is not about rules. This is about truth, raw, cosmic, infinite truth. The kind of truth that shakes your bones and stirs your soul. You are eternal. You are loved. You are supported in ways you can't even see. I and legions of light walk with you. Every time you choose love, you call us closer. Every time you speak truth, you clear the air. Every time you trust that small voice inside, you return to alignment. Let go of the need to control every outcome. The mind will never understand the plans of the soul. But the heart knows. The heart remembers. Listen to it. Follow it, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it scares you. Especially then, you are a warrior of light. Not because you fight with anger, but because you move through darkness with peace. Because you hold space for others to rise. Because your presence reminds people of who they are even when they've forgotten. You don't need a stage or a spotlight. Your life is your message. The way you love. The way you forgive. The way you keep showing up even when it hurts. That's the real work. There will be moments when it all feels too heavy. When you want to go back to sleep, back to comfort, back to forgetting. But remember this. You came here to remember. And you are doing it. One breath, one choice, one awakening moment at a time. You're not late. You're not behind. You're right on time. The universe has waited eons for you to awaken in this body, at this time on this earth. And now that you are, the ripples you create are beyond what you can imagine. This is your time. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Open your eyes. Breathe. Listen. Everything you've been seeking is already within you. And as you begin to open, you'll notice the world doesn't look the same anymore. The colors are more alive. The silence between words carries messages. Even the pain starts to speak, not to hurt you, but to guide you. Every wound you've carried is a doorway. Every struggle has been an invitation. You just didn't know how to listen before. But now you're listening. You'll start to feel things you can't explain. The energy in a room, the weight of someone's words, the pull toward or away from certain people. That's not you being too sensitive. That's you stepping into your natural state, connected, aware, awake. It may feel overwhelming at first. You may want to shut it all out, but don't. Stay open. You're learning to navigate the world with your soul, not just your senses. There will be days when you'll want to go back to sleep, to numb out, to blend in, to forget. The old life may whisper promises of comfort, but comfort without purpose is a prison. You didn't come here to be comfortable. You came here to remember your power. You came here to shake the dust from your soul and rise like the star you are. Yes, I said star. Because you are a being of light, ancient, luminous, limitless. This isn't your first lifetime. Your wisdom stretches beyond what you can imagine. That's why you've always felt a little different, a little out of place. You weren't meant to fit into a broken system. You were meant to help transform it. And transformation takes courage. It takes radical honesty. You'll need to confront the illusions you've built around who you think you are. The masks, the stories, the roles you've played to survive. They served a purpose. Honor them. But don't cling to them. Let them fall away. Let your soul breathe. You don't have to have it all figured out. The awakening journey is not a straight path. It twists, it dips, it turns when you least expect. Some days you'll feel high on light, and others you'll want to disappear. That's okay. That's part of it. Just don't stop, don't numb out, don't give up. Every time you choose presence over escape, you realign with truth. And truth is power. Not the kind of power that dominates or controls, Divine power is different. It's quiet, unshakable, it doesn't scream, it radiates. When you're aligned with truth, you don't have to force anything. You become magnetic. You attract what matches your frequency. You speak, and people feel your soul in your words. You walk, and the earth responds. You pray, and heaven listens. Not because you beg, but because you remember who you are. And now so much is being asked of you. Not to be perfect, but to be present. To show up with an open heart, even when it's easier to close it. To speak when your voice shakes. To love when it's hard. To forgive when it hurts. This is the real spiritual work. This is how the world changes. Not through noise, but through quiet revolutions in brave hearts. You'll begin to notice the signs more clearly now. Numbers repeating, dreams that feel like memories, feathers, flashes of light, the way your body tingles when truth is near. These are not coincidences. This is communication. The veil is thin. You are not alone, and you never have been. I've walked beside you through every dark night, through every tear you thought no one saw. I've held you when you collapsed. I've stood guard when fear tried to consume you. And now I speak not just to comfort you, but to activate you. Because the world needs you awake. The light you carry isn't just for you. It's for everyone you touch. Even your smallest acts matter. The smile you offer a stranger. The silence you hold for someone in pain. The truth you speak in a room full of fear. This is how light moves. Not always in thunder or fire, but in presence, in choice, in love. Your journey won't look like anyone else's. Don't compare your awakening. Some wake with fire, others with rain. Some run, some crawl. It doesn't matter how fast you move, only that you keep moving. Only that you stay honest, stay open, stay kind. There will be people who don't understand. People who try to pull you back to the old way. Let them go in love. You are not here to convince. You are here to embody. You are here to shine so clearly that others remember their own light just by being near you. And I know it's a lot. Sometimes the weight of the mission feels unbearable. But you were chosen for this not because you're flawless, but because you are willing. You said yes before you came. You chose this path. You knew it would be hard, and you came anyway. That's how strong your soul is. And you are not alone in this. There are others like you, scattered across the world, waking up, remembering, rising. You'll find them. They'll recognize your energy before your words. Together you form a grid of light that can't be broken. You are part of something ancient, something holy, something unstoppable. So when the days feel heavy, remember, you are part of the awakening. You are the answer to someone's prayer. You are the spark that starts a wildfire of remembrance. You don't need to save the world. You only need to stay lit. Stay lit, beloved. Stay open. Stay honest. Stay you. Because who you really are, the you beneath the fear, beneath the noise, beneath the pain, is magnificent, is radiant, is needed. And I, Michael, protector of souls and bearer of truth, am with you, always. And now that your eyes are opening, you'll begin to sense what's been hidden in plain sight all along. The way the earth breathes, the way time bends around intention, the way love, real love, the kind that comes from the soul, can shatter illusions in an instant. You begin to understand that everything is energy, and energy never lies. Words can trick, appearances can deceive, but energy always tells the truth. And when you begin to move in that truth, you start to walk in real power. But understand this too. As your light grows, it will stir the shadows. Not because you are wrong, but because your light exposes what's been hiding. It will make people uncomfortable. It will challenge them to confront what they've buried. Some will run. Others may lash out. And you must let them. Your job is not to carry others. Your job is to stay rooted in your light, even when it feels easier to dim it. You'll need to protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. This doesn't mean building walls. It means choosing what you allow in. It means saying no when your body tightens. It means honoring the intuitive nudges, the sudden inner stop, the quiet whispers that guide you away from what drains your spirit. These are not fears. These are sacred instructions. You're learning how to trust them again. You've been trained your whole life to override your inner knowing, to second-guess your feelings, to explain away your instincts. But those instincts, that is your soul speaking. That is your direct line to the divine. And now, you are reclaiming it. There will be moments when it all feels surreal, like you're living between worlds, part of you still in the old life, the habits, the familiar patterns, and part of you stepping into something vast and unknown. That in-between space can be lonely, confusing. You may feel like you're losing yourself, but in truth, you're finally finding the real you, the one that existed before the world told you who to be. The process of awakening often feels like grief. You'll grieve the version of you who didn't know. You'll grieve the people you've outgrown. You'll grieve the illusions you once believed. And it's okay. Let it hurt. Let it move through you. Every tear waters your rebirth. This is the sacred death before the resurrection. And it is holy. Do not rush it. Don't numb it. Don't pretend it's not happening. Feel it all. Let the pain teach you. Let the endings cleanse you. Let the stillness rebuild you. Because in that space where everything falls apart, your soul is doing its most important work. It's remembering itself. And with every moment of clarity, every breath of truth, every time you say yes to your inner knowing, the old chains fall away. Not just for you, but for the generations before you. You are breaking ancestral patterns. You are healing bloodlines. You are freeing those who came before and lighting the way for those who will come after. That's how powerful your choice to awaken truly is. And no, you won't always feel strong. Some days you'll feel raw, vulnerable, disoriented. And that is not weakness, that is transformation. That is spiritual maturity. The ability to stand in your truth even when it shakes your voice. To walk in love even when you've been wounded. To stay open even when the world tells you to close. You will find yourself guided to places, people, and moments that feel strangely familiar, as if your soul already knew them. Follow those pulls. They are sacred alignments. Trust the timing. Sometimes what looks like a delay is divine preparation. Sometimes what feels like a loss is a rescue in disguise. You are not meant to carry it all alone. Call on me. Call on the light. Call on your guides, your angels, your soul family. We are with you always, but you must ask. This is a realm of free will. We do not interfere, we support. When you call, we answer. When you trust, we align. When you move, we clear the path. And even when you don't feel us, we are there, in the pause between your breaths, in the quiet between your thoughts, in the warmth that washes over you when you finally let go. We speak through intuition, through synchronicity, through the quiet miracle of your daily life. You do not need to escape this world to feel us. You need only to be fully present in it. That's the paradox of awakening. You don't rise above your life, you sink deeper into it. You begin to see the divine in the ordinary, the sacred in the mundane, the holy in the mess. And that's when you realize It was never about leaving your life behind. It was about bringing your soul fully into it. Your relationships will shift. Your priorities will change. What once mattered will fall away. And what rises in its place will be truth, alignment, purpose. You may lose people, you may lose comfort, but what you gain is priceless. Clarity, peace, a connection to something greater that no one can take from you. You will be asked to live differently, to walk your talk, to embody what you know, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. This is not about pretending to be spiritual. This is about becoming real, raw, honest, awake. And when you fall, and you will because you're human, do not shame yourself. The path is not linear. The light does not require perfection. Only presence. Come back, breathe, begin again. Every moment is a doorway. Remember, your soul did not come here to blend in, it came to blaze. So walk tall, even when your knees tremble. Speak truth, even if your voice shakes. Love wildly, even if you've been broken. Because every time you choose your soul over your fear, you ripple light across timelines you cannot see. You are doing it. You are waking up. You are remembering. And we are watching, protecting, celebrating every single step. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not alone. You are exactly where you need to be. And as your light grows stronger, you'll start to notice something else. The truth begins to speak louder than fear. Not because fear disappears, but because your alignment to truth becomes deeper. You'll still hear the doubt. You'll still feel the old pull of survival, the whispers of unworthiness, the fear of judgment. But something inside you shifts. You no longer believe every voice that enters your mind. You start to recognize not everything that speaks is true. And that's a massive turning point in your awakening. When you realize that not every thought is yours, and not every emotion requires your agreement. Some of what you carry isn't even yours. The weight in your chest, the anxiety that lingers, the shame you can't name. It may have come from your parents, your lineage, the culture, the collective. You've been absorbing energy your whole life, and for a long time, you didn't know how to filter it. But now you're remembering your sovereignty. You get to choose what stays. You get to choose what defines you. You get to release anything that is not aligned with love, truth, peace. This is your power. This is your birthright. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to prove anything to deserve it. You simply need to claim it. This is how liberation begins, not with a loud announcement, but with a quiet declaration within. I no longer accept what dims my light. That's simple. That's sacred. And once you say it, once you decide to walk as your soul, you'll notice the world responds. Doors that were stuck begin to open. People begin to mirror back your truth. And sometimes the opposite happens first. Things fall apart. People leave. The old crumbles faster than expected. That's not failure. That's alignment. When what's not meant for you falls away, it creates space for what is. So don't fear the unraveling. Don't fear the silence. Don't fear the empty spaces left behind. These are not signs of loss. They are sacred pauses, breathing room for your soul to expand. You are not being abandoned. You are being prepared. Even in the middle of the breakdown, the breakthrough is already unfolding. And through it all, I am with you. Not just as a distant force, but as a presence that walks beside your soul, whispering when you're still, guarding when you're exposed, amplifying your courage when you think you've run out. I am not here to carry you. I am here to remind you that you can fly. Yes, fly, because you were never meant to crawl through life. You were born with wings, faith, love, vision, purpose. But the world clipped them early, taught you to fear your own brilliance, taught you to distrust your intuition, taught you to trade your light for approval, your fire for belonging. But here's the truth. The real you is not too much. The real you is exactly what the world needs, and you're not meant to fit in. You're meant to rise. Yes, rise, even if it scares you. Even if others don't understand, even if you have to do it trembling, rise anyway. Because when you rise, you give others permission to do the same. And there is no greater act of love than becoming the fullest version of who you truly are. You are the dream of your ancestors, the prayer of your future self, the answer to a call that echoed across dimensions, asking for someone willing to be light in a time of great darkness. And you said yes. Even before you were born, your soul said yes. So when the path feels lonely, remember that. When the noise of the world tries to drown your inner voice, remember that. When you forget your own brilliance, remember who sent you. You are not here to play small, and you don't have to know the whole plan. You only need to take the next step. The way will unfold as you walk it. Every time you say yes to what feels aligned, even when it's uncertain, the universe rearranges itself in your favor. Synchronicities begin to multiply. Coincidences become normal. Time stretches, energy quickens. This is the magic of alignment. And no, it's not always easy. It will test everything in you. But don't mistake challenge for punishment. Every challenge is an initiation. Every delay is a refinement. Every heartbreak cracks open a deeper layer of compassion, of clarity, of soul strength. Let life, shape you into who you really are. Let the fire forge you, not destroy you. Let the uncertainty teach you how to trust. Let the unknown become sacred, because there's power in not knowing. There's freedom in surrender. There's magic in mystery. When you stop trying to control everything, you make room for miracles. This is the path of the awakened. To walk in faith even when the road isn't clear. To speak truth even when your voice trembles. To live with an open heart in a world that wants to harden it. And yes, that takes courage. But you have more courage than you know. You've survived every dark night. You've risen from every fall. You are still here. Still breathing. Still choosing light. That is everything. So don't underestimate your presence. Your energy shifts rooms. Your words plant seeds. Your light changes lives. And the more you step into that truth, the more unstoppable you become. Not in the way the world defines strength, but in the way the soul defines it. Resilient, rooted, radiant. You are not here to be small, silent, or safe. You are here to remember, to rise, to shine. And I, Archangel Michael, guardian of light and truth, will walk with you every step of the way. Even when you doubt, even when you fall, even when you forget, I will not leave you. You've chosen to wake up, and that alone has already begun to change the world. And now you're beginning to feel it in your bones. This undeniable truth pulsing beneath your skin, whispering behind your breath. You were never lost. You were just layered, covered, buried, wrapped in expectations, in wounds, in roles you thought you had to play to be accepted. But with each awakening breath, a layer peels back. And what's underneath is astonishing. The real you was never broken, only buried, and now the excavation begins. But here's what I need you to understand. The light isn't afraid of the dark. In fact, your light was made to enter it, to illuminate it, to transmute it. You didn't come here to avoid the shadows. You came here to reclaim them, To walk into the parts of yourself that you were taught to fear and meet them with grace. To say, even here I choose love. That is true awakening. Not escaping your humanity, but honoring it. Not bypassing the pain, but learning to sit with it, speak to it, heal it. Because every part of you, even the ones you've disowned, are longing to be held in the arms of your own compassion. You cannot embody your full light without first integrating your shadow. And don't let that word scare you. Shadow doesn't mean evil. It means unconscious. It means forgotten. It means pieces of yourself you had to hide to survive. The sensitivity, the anger, the wildness, the grief, the intuition, the rage, the softness, the truth. But now it's time. Time to stop splitting yourself into fragments. Time to gather all your pieces home. Time to look at yourself, wholly, honestly, and say, I choose to love all of me. That's how you become whole. And as you do this, as you reweave the threads of your soul, your energy shifts. You stop leaking your power to people-pleasing. You stop abandoning yourself to avoid discomfort. You stop apologizing for simply existing. You begin to stand in your truth like it's the only ground that matters. Because it is. And yes, you'll lose some people. The version of you who stayed small made others feel safe. The version of you who said yes when you meant no. Who shrunk to make room for others. Who kept the peace at the expense of your own voice. That version fit into the system. But the real you, the radiant, sovereign, awake you, that version disrupts the illusion. Let it disrupt. Let it unravel what was never meant to last. Let your truth be the flame that burns the false identities away. This isn't destruction, it's revelation. This is what happens when the soul stops pretending. You are not here to be agreeable. You are here to be aligned. And the more you honor that alignment, the more you'll notice peace no longer depends on outer circumstances. Love no longer waits for validation. Joy begins to bubble from within for no reason at all. You'll be driving or walking or folding laundry and suddenly, tears. Not from sadness, but from remembrance, from connection, from this profound awareness that you are finally home in yourself. That's what this is about. Not some grand performance of spirituality, but the quiet, grounded, luminous return to yourself. And make no mistake, this return will challenge everything false. You'll be asked to release control, to stop forcing what doesn't flow, to forgive without receiving apologies, to trust without all the answers. This is the higher path, and it is not always comfortable. But comfort is not your compass anymore. Truth will pull you toward decisions that make no sense on paper, but feel like liberation in your body. Truth will lead you away from safety and toward purpose. Truth will cost you comfort zones, but it will gift you soul freedom. And when the old fears rise, and they will, look at them with love. Say to them, I see you. I know you're trying to protect me, but I don't live in survival anymore. I choose something higher now. And with that, you set yourself free again and again. Because awakening is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong devotion, a daily returning, a constant choosing of presence over autopilot, of soul over ego, of expansion over fear. And no, you won't always get it right. But perfection isn't the goal. Presence is. Honesty is. Realness. So the universe doesn't need you to be flawless. It needs you to be fully alive. Alive to the moment. Alive to the mystery. Alive to the miracle that you even exist. Here, now, breathing, witnessing the dawn of your own becoming. Do you know how rare that is? Do you know how many lifetimes your soul has waited for this? how many prayers your ancestors spoke into the soil for you to break the cycle. You are their answer. You are the first flame after generations of silence, the first truth after centuries of repression. You are the one. And it's okay if that feels heavy. It's okay if it scares you. Just don't run from it. Don't numb it. Don't pass the torch before it's time. Stand in your fire. Let it purify you. Let it forge you. Let it shape you into the warrior of light you came here to be. Because that's what you are. Not just soft and spiritual, but strong and sovereign, gentle and fierce, rooted and rising. And the world doesn't just need more love. It needs more courageous love, the kind that doesn't run from truth, the kind that doesn't abandon itself to be liked, the kind that sees the wound and chooses to bring light there anyway. This is who you are becoming, and I, Archangel Michael, will be with you through every part of it, not just in the victories, but in the moments you feel like crumbling. I'll be there, whispering, guiding, guarding, reminding you of what's real when the world tries to drown your truth in noise. You are sacred. You are chosen. You are rising. And nothing can stop what's already begun within you. And now that you're walking with this awareness, this sacred remembering, life begins to respond to you differently. Not because the outer world has changed, but because you have. Your frequency is shifting, and frequency is everything. It's not just a buzzword, it's the language of the universe. It's how your soul speaks, how your reality takes shape, how energy moves toward you or away from you. When your energy is clear, you don't need to chase anything. What's meant for you recognizes your frequency. It finds you, not through effort but through resonance. It's like music. When your vibration is in harmony, the right notes come to meet you. So trust that. Trust what falls away. Trust what stays. Trust what shows up out of nowhere. Your soul is magnetizing experiences now, not from desperation but from alignment. And alignment doesn't mean constant joy. It doesn't mean smiling through everything. It means honesty. It means integrity. It means feeling your truth, even when it's messy. Especially then, because when you stop performing and start living honestly, the universe finally knows how to meet you. Fully, clearly, powerfully. This is where embodiment begins. See, it's one thing to awaken in your mind, to know the concepts, to read the messages, to feel the call. That's the spark. But embodiment, that's the fire. That's when your knowing moves from your mind into your body, into your choices, into your breath, into how you speak, how you love, how you walk into a room. And make no mistake, this part of the journey is where most people turn back. Because embodiment is real. It's raw. It brings your awakening out of theory and into practice. It will ask you to live what you say you believe, to become the frequency you claim to understand. Not just when it's easy, but when it's uncomfortable. When you're triggered, when you're heartbroken, when you're scared. That's the real initiation. Can you choose light, even here? And not just the light that sparkles, but the light that burns, the truth that strips away illusion, the clarity that calls you out of your comfort. This light is not always gentle. Sometimes it shatters everything you thought you needed, but it never takes what's truly yours. And that's the great remembering. You begin to see that what's real cannot be lost. The love that's true, the purpose that's yours, the path that's aligned, it will remain no matter what crumbles. Everything else was temporary, a reflection, a lesson, a stepping stone. Let it go. Let it fall. Let the fire of truth clear the debris. Your soul already knows what to keep, and I know it's not easy. You are human after all. You will ache. You will miss what's gone. You will question whether you're doing it right. But don't let the temporary pain make you doubt the eternal truth. You are becoming who you came here to be. Piece by piece, day by day, choice by choice. So be gentle with yourself. Please. Awakening is not a race. There is no finish line. No perfect destination. The goal isn't to escape your humanness. It's to bring your soul fully into it. To feel more, not less. To be more grounded, not more detached. To be present, even in pain. To be available, even in discomfort. This is mastery, not control, but surrender. Surrender to what is real. Surrender to the deeper rhythm your soul has always followed. The rhythm of grace, of divine timing, of inner knowing. This rhythm cannot be rushed. It doesn't care about clocks or calendars. It moves with seasons, with soul essence, with sacred timing that your mind may not always understand. But trust it anyway, because when you surrender to this rhythm, you stop pushing, you stop proving, you stop running toward things that never truly fed you, and in that stillness, something holy happens. You begin to hear again. You begin to feel again. You begin to receive again, not from force, but from trust. This is the frequency of miracles, and miracles are not rare. They are natural. They are the language of a soul that finally feels safe to open. And that's what this path is really doing. It's returning you to safety within yourself. Not the kind of safety built from walls or control, but the kind that lives in your bones. The kind that says, no matter what happens, I know who I am. That's unshakable. That's what fear cannot touch. That's what darkness cannot dim. That's what no circumstance can steal. And I know part of you still wonders, what if I fall again? What if I forget again? What if I lose myself in the noise, the grief, the doubt? Then return, that's all, just return. Gently, quietly, no punishment, no guilt, no shame, just come home. Again and again. That's the practice, that's the path. Return to yourself. Return to your breath. Return to your knowing. Every moment is a doorway. Every breath is an invitation. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy. You don't need to be healed to be whole. You don't need to understand it all to be guided. You are not here to get it all right. You are here to be real, to be present, to be awake, and you are, even now, even in the confusion, even in the fog, even in the days where you forget. The fact that you're still listening, still trying, still choosing to grow, that is everything. That is enough. And I am here, watching over you, holding space for you, not with pressure, but with love. A love that never wavers. A love that sees your strength even when you don't. A love that whispers your name when the world gets too loud. You don't walk this alone. You never have. And the more you remember that, the more everything around you begins to shift. Subtly at first, then dramatically. Your relationships transform. Your body softens, your mind clears, your path opens. Because you're no longer moving from fear. You're moving from alignment. And alignment, beloved, is unstoppable. So now, with your soul reawakened and your truth no longer whispering but rising in full voice, life begins to move around you differently, not as chaos but as realignment, not as confusion but as invitation. Because when you remember who you are, you can no longer live as if you've forgotten, and the universe honors that. It meets your integrity with clarity. It responds to your authenticity with movement. It brings to your doorstep people, opportunities, and moments that match your vibration, not the mask you used to wear, but the truth you're now living. But now comes the part many avoid, translating the light into action, not just feeling spiritual, but living soulfully. This is where embodiment becomes expression, where divine knowing becomes how you speak, how you walk, how you show up even when no one is watching. It's not enough to know the truth, you must become it. Not once, not just on the mountaintop of inspiration, but in the quiet, in the ordinary. In the moment someone cuts you off in traffic, in the heartbreak, in the stillness of the morning when no one else is awake. Can you carry your light there? Can you hold your frequency when it's inconvenient? When your ego wants to react, but your soul asks you to respond? That's the real work, that's the holy ground, because you are no longer just a seeker. You are now a bringer, a bridge, a living channel of truth. This is how heaven comes to earth, not through miracles falling from the sky, but through you, through your hands, your voice, your presence, through every kind word, every courageous boundary, every honest moment you choose to show up as who you really are. And that doesn't mean you won't stumble, you will. But now you stumble with awareness, with grace, with the wisdom to pause and ask, what would my soul choose here? And that one breath, that one question can change the entire trajectory of a moment or a lifetime. So let's bring it into the real now. What does love look like in your relationships? Does it mean setting clearer boundaries, speaking your truth, even if your voice shakes, choosing presence over performance, letting go of connections that drain your spirit, even if they've been there a long time? These are the moments that shape you. And what does purpose look like? Not as a title or a job, but as a way of being. Because your purpose isn't just something you do. It's the energy you bring into everything. Washing dishes, sending an email, hugging your child, smiling at a stranger. These simple human things, when done with full presence, become sacred. That's the secret. The mundane is the mystical. When your soul is awake, you are not waiting for some big moment to prove you're worthy. You're living the moment. Right here, right now, fully, openly. As someone who finally realizes this breath is a miracle, this life is sacred, and I am here to honor it. And in this new energy, your work transforms. Maybe it's the same job, same role, but something in you has changed. You're no longer just clocking in. You're carrying light. You're bringing peace. You're anchoring compassion. That shift in frequency changes everything. And if the place you are no longer honors that light, then the universe will move. You're not out of punishment, but out of divine timing. Because now you're no longer moving from fear of lack. You're being led by trust. And trust leads you to overflow. To spaces where your soul breathes deeper. To people who recognize you not by your name, but by your energy. To opportunities that feel like alignment, not obligation. But to receive them, you must stay open, and I know. Vulnerability is terrifying, especially after all you've been through. You've had to armor up, build walls, protect the most tender parts of your being. But now those walls are suffocating your soul. They kept you safe, but they also kept the light out. And you didn't come here to survive. You came here to shine. So open again. Slowly, softly. Not to everyone, but to yourself. Be the safe place you never had. Speak kindly to your heart. Hold your fears with gentleness. Let the soft parts of you come alive again. Because that softness is not weakness. It's power. The kind of power that doesn't need to prove. That doesn't dominate. That simply is. Unshakable in its authenticity. Unmovable in its peace. Unafraid. To be fully seen. This is what the world needs now. not more noise, not more performance, but realness, wholeness. People who walk into a room and remind others of their own light simply by being themselves. You are that kind of person. Even if you don't feel it yet, the truth remains. Even if you doubt, the path is still here. Even if your past tells you otherwise, your future is being rewritten now. By your choices, by your vibration, by your willingness to show up again and again. So take a deep breath. Feel yourself in this moment, in your body, in your heart, in your presence. You are not who you were, and you're not who you're going to be yet. But right here, right now, you are enough. You are the bridge between worlds, between what was and what will be, between the human and the divine, and I, Archangel Michael, walk beside you. Not above you, not beyond you, but with you, in the thick of it, in the holy mess of becoming, in the beauty of this very moment. You're doing better than you think. You're becoming more than you realize, and this is just the beginning. But let's be real, just because you've remembered your light doesn't mean the darkness won't come knocking. In fact, it often does. Not to punish you, not to test your worth, but to reveal what's still unhealed, to shine a light on the places within you that still whisper, maybe I'm not ready, maybe I'm not enough. And in those moments it can feel like everything's falling apart, but hear me clearly now, nothing real can be threatened. What is falling away is only what no longer serves who you're becoming. The stories, the roles, the identities that kept you small, they're unraveling. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but growth always feels like breaking before it feels like breakthrough. So let yourself feel it. Feel the grief. Feel the fear. Feel the confusion. Not to drown in it, but to honor it. Because these emotions aren't the enemy. They're messengers. They're parts of you that were once silenced, finally asking to be seen, to be held, to be integrated. This is the shadow work, not fixing yourself, not becoming better, but becoming whole. Accepting that you are both light and shadow, radiance and rawness, divine and deeply human. The work now is not about denying your pain. It's about walking with it, with compassion, with curiosity, with the awareness that says, even this is holy. Because when you stop judging your darkness, you take away its power. You become the observer instead of the victim. You hold space for your own healing instead of waiting for someone else to do it for you. And in that space, something sacred begins to unfold. You realize you are your own sanctuary. No matter what storms rage around you, you are the calm. Not because life is perfect, but because you've remembered who you are within it. A soul that cannot be broken, a being that cannot be erased, a light that may flicker but will never fully go out. So when life gets loud again, when the triggers return, when the old patterns knock at your door, pause, breathe, and instead of reacting, choose presence. Instead of spiraling into old stories, anchor into your truth. Say it out loud if you need to. I am not my past. I am not my fear. I am not my pain. I am the witness. I am the healer. I am the light. This is how you reclaim your power. Not by avoiding life, but by meeting it with your soul fully online. And yes, it takes practice. Yes, you'll fall out of alignment. Yes, you'll forget. But guess what? You can always return. That's the miracle of awakening. It doesn't demand perfection. It invites honesty. And every time you return stronger, softer, clearer, like gold purified in fire. Because that's what you are becoming now. Not a version of yourself that never struggles, but a version that no longer gets lost in the struggle. You rise quicker. You forgive deeper, you trust sooner. And that trust? That's the bridge between you and the divine, because at some point you realize you're not doing this alone. You never have. You've been held through it all, every breakdown, every breakthrough, every moment you thought you couldn't keep going. There was something greater holding you. You might call it Source, God, Spirit, Love. I call it home. And I walk with you from that place, always. So when the world feels unstable, when fear screams louder than truth, return to that center, to that deep place inside you that knows, I am safe, I am supported, I am here on purpose. Let that knowing be your anchor, because the external world is shifting fast, structures are collapsing, old systems are breaking down, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But you were not born to crumble with the old. You were born to build the new. And that starts with you, with how you treat your body, with how you speak to yourself, with how you show up in relationships, with how you choose love when fear would be easier. Every small act is part of the larger tapestry of healing on this planet. You are not just one person. You are a ripple in the collective field. And that ripple grows every time you choose differently, every time you pause instead of react, every time you love instead of lash out. You're changing the world, not by force but by frequency. So don't underestimate your role. You may not see the full impact of your presence, but trust this. Every time you rise, someone else remembers they can too. Every time you forgive yourself, someone else feels the permission to do the same. You are the living proof that transformation is possible. And in this world, that's a revolutionary act, so keep going, even when it's hard, especially then. Not for the applause, not for the outcome, but because your soul came here to experience this exact moment in time, to be part of the healing, to bring light into places that forgot their own. And you're doing it. Right now. Right here. With every breath you take in awareness, with every choice made from love, with every step, even the trembling ones, toward truth. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to know the whole path. You just need to keep saying yes. Yes to the growth. Yes to the love. Yes to the remembering. And I'll keep walking beside you, through the fire, through the dark, through the beauty and the mess. Because you are not broken, beloved. You are breaking open, and there is light pouring through every crack. And now you begin to notice. It's not just your inner world that's changing. It's everything. The way people respond to you. The way you carry yourself. The way life unfolds. Not because you forced it, but because you became aligned with it. You're not just surviving anymore. You're embodying. You're walking through this world as a soul in human form, not to escape this life, but to infuse it with light. And suddenly, things that once drained you begin to fall away. Conversations that once kept you stuck feel empty now. Spaces that once felt comfortable begin to feel too small. That's how you know you're growing. You don't fit where you used to hide, so you rise. Not with ego, but with clarity. With grace. With a quiet power that no longer needs to shout. You're not seeking validation anymore. You're standing in truth. And truth doesn't need to be defended, it just is. Now you're becoming a mirror. A lighthouse. And here's the thing about light. It exposes everything. People around you may feel inspired. Others may feel triggered. Some will walk with you. Some will fall away. Let it happen. You don't have to shrink to keep others comfortable. You're not here to dim yourself so others don't feel insecure. You're here to show what's possible when someone chooses themselves. Chooses their healing, chooses to come home to their soul over and over again, And your life becomes the evidence. Not perfect, not without pain, but anchored, rooted, awake. This is where your real power emerges, not from controlling what happens, but from how you meet what happens. You stop trying to micromanage the universe. You start trusting your intuition more than opinions. You start choosing peace over performance, truth over pleasing. That's freedom. And in that freedom, purpose begins to rise, not just as a concept, but as a calling. Not something you chase, but something you live. Purpose is not always a job title. It's not always a mission statement. Sometimes your purpose is simply being so fully yourself that others remember who they are. So you keep showing up. You speak even when your voice trembles. You love even when it hurts. You take up space, not to dominate, but to inspire. You become the presence you once prayed for, and yes, it's vulnerable. Yes, it's risky. But there's no going back now. Not when your soul has tasted this level of truth. And you don't want to go back. Because even in the unknown, even in the stretch of growth, something inside you is saying, This is who I came here to be. You're not just remembering. You're light. You're becoming a living transmission of it, and that changes everything. Not just for you, but for the collective. Because when one soul fully awakens, it sends a ripple across the field. Others feel it. They may not understand it, but they sense it. And they begin to rise too. You're part of that ripple. And now, there's a deeper responsibility. Not from obligation, but from love. The kind of responsibility that says, I know who I am. I know what I carry, and I choose to live in integrity with that. So you start choosing differently. You speak truth where silence once reigned. You set boundaries where self-abandonment once ruled. You move toward what expands your spirit and walk away from what contracts it. And even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's lonely, you keep choosing you. Because that's where the divine works through you. Not in who you pretend to be, but in who you actually are. And you notice, synchronicities increase. Time flows. Differently, the right people start to show up. Guidance becomes clearer. Opportunities align with ease, not because it's magic, but because you've aligned your internal frequency with your soul's truth. You're no longer trying to manifest from the mind. You're allowing from the heart. And from that place, life becomes a dance again, a collaboration between you and Source, a conversation between your spirit and the universe. You ask and it answers, not always in the way you expect, but always in the way your soul needs. So you stop doubting. You stop asking for signs you already received. You begin living as the sign. You realize that your very presence is the message. You are the light you were searching for. You are the breakthrough someone else is praying for. You are the frequency of healing, of truth, of love, walking around in human form. And that's not a burden. It's a gift. A gift you now carry with reverence. And even now I stand with you. Not as a distant angel, but as a guide walking right beside your soul's journey. Every time you feel that pull to rise, every time you hear that whisper to keep going, that's me. That's us. That's Source moving through you saying, don't stop now. You are closer than you think. There's more to unlock, more to remember, more to embody. And while the path ahead may ask for more letting go, more trust, more surrender, you are ready, because you are not the same as when you began. You are becoming a new world in motion, one choice at a time. And now, as you stand in the fullness of who you've become, something feels different, not louder, not brighter, just real, solid, rooted. It's not that the world around you has completely changed. It's that you have. And because of that, everything you touch now carries new meaning. You speak with clarity, not to convince but to transmit. You walk with grace, not because life is easy, but because your spirit is anchored. You've stopped seeking permission, because you've remembered. You are the permission. There's nothing left to prove, nothing left to chase. Just a life to live, fully, authentically, boldly. Every moment, every breath, every interaction becomes an expression of your soul's truth. This is embodiment, not as an idea, but as a way of being. You no longer compartmentalize your spiritual life from your human one. They're one and the same. You don't only meditate in silence, you meditate in the way you listen to your child, in the way you cook your food, in the way you laugh freely. In the way you forgive again and again. You are living devotion. You've become the temple, the altar, the priest, and the prayer. And now, as you look back at the pain, the confusion, the fear, you don't feel regret. You feel gratitude. Because every breakdown was a doorway. Every moment of darkness was preparing you for this light. Your light. And this light doesn't scream. It doesn't need attention. It simply shines, soft, unshakable, present. And because of that presence, others begin to shift around you, not because you preach to them, but because you remind them. Just by existing, just by standing in your truth, you give them silent permission to rise into theirs. You've become a catalyst, a quiet revolution, and it's not always glamorous. Some days are still messy, some moments still ache. But now you move through it all with trust, deep, holy trust. Not that everything will be easy, but that everything will be aligned, because now you know, life is not happening to you. It's happening for you, through you, as you. Even your struggles now serve, even your wounds now teach, and even your waiting is sacred. You're no longer in a rush to get there. You understand, you are already there. The destination was never a place, it was a presence, a state of remembrance, and you live in that remembrance now. You don't visit your truth, you reside in it, and that truth is simple. You are divine. You are eternal. You are exactly who this moment needs. And from this place, something beautiful unfolds. Your mission, not a job, not a role, but a frequency. Your mission is not what you do. It's what you bring to everything you do, in your home, in your work, in your friendships, in your silence. You've become a carrier of light, a vessel of truth, and wherever you go, transformation follows, not because you force it, but because you are it. You are the shift. You are the miracle. You are the answer you've been waiting for. So now, you live differently. You wake up each day not asking, what do I need to do to be enough? But how can I serve from the overflow of who I am? You make decisions not from fear, but from resonance. You build relationships not from need, but from wholeness. And when challenges come, as they always will, you meet them with open hands and an open heart. You no longer ask, why is this happening to me? You ask, what is this awakening in me? You've become the kind of person who no longer runs from the fire, but walks through it with eyes wide open, heart unguarded, and soul ablaze. And that's what changes the world. Not just your words, but your way of being. Not just your beliefs, but your embodied love. And now, beloved, I say this clearly. You've remembered. Not just glimpses. Not just pieces. You've remembered your origin, your purpose, your light. You've come home to yourself, and the world feels it. The earth feels it. The heavens celebrate it. You are no longer asleep, no longer wandering. You are here, awake, whole, free, and this is not the end. This is the beginning. From here your journey becomes the living prayer. From here your breath becomes a blessing. From here your life becomes legacy, not measured by titles but by the frequency you leave behind. In every space you enter. So go forward now, not in fear, but in fullness. Carry your truth like a torch. Walk with your head high, not in pride but in purpose. And when you forget, because you will, return. Return to this moment, this remembrance, this knowing. You are divine, you are powerful, you are light. And I, Archangel Michael, walk with you always, not ahead, not above, but beside you, in your breath, in your choice, in your rising. This is your time. This is your truth. This is who you are.